Let me start with a truth most people are not ready to hear as 2026 begins. The world doesn't reset on January 1st, it remembers everything you did before it. While people celebrate, post smiles, and shout, "New Year, new me," time stays silent. Because time doesn't care about promises, it only responds to patterns. And if your patterns didn't change in 2025, 2026 is not a fresh start. It's exposure. Look at the world honestly, not emotionally. Honestly, money decides speed. Money decides comfort. Money decides respect. Not because money is everything, but because money is proof of value in a system that runs on results. Society doesn't hate you when you're broke. It simply ignores you. Friends don't suddenly turn fake. They just adjust to momentum. Love doesn't disappear. It gets tested under pressure. And nature doesn't test feelings at all. It replaces what can't keep up. That's why the lion doesn't wait for loyalty. That's why the eagle doesn't move with the crowd. Survival rewards strength, not intention. 2026 is dangerous because excuses expire this year. Saying, "I'm still figuring it out," doesn't sound deep anymore. It sounds delayed. Potential without progress stops being impressive and starts being uncomfortable. And deep down, you already feel it. That quiet pressure in your chest when someone younger moves ahead. That awkward silence when money conversations start. That hesitation before spending on basic things. That's not jealousy. That's awareness waking up. The world you're stepping into in 2026 is faster than ever. Technology doesn't wait. Opportunities don't pause. Society doesn't slow down because you're tired or confused. And the biggest lie you were sold growing up was that being a good person would be enough. It isn't. Good without value is ignored. Hardworking without direction is exploited. Loyal without leverage is forgotten. This is where most people break. Not because life is unfair, but because life is honest. Honest about effort that didn't compound. Honest about comfort that replaced discipline. Honest about years wasted waiting for motivation instead of building habits. 2026 won't ask you nicely to grow. It will force comparison, force pressure, force decisions. And here's the part nobody says clearly. When you don't have money, you don't have choices. You have adjustments. You adjust your standards. You adjust your dreams. You adjust your self-respect. That's why this truth hurts. Because it removes comfort and replaces it with responsibility. But it also gives you power. Because once you understand how the world actually works, you stop feeling lost. You stop blaming people. You stop begging for fairness. You stop expecting loyalty from a system that only respects value. 2026 is not here to motivate you. It's here to reveal who you really are when pressure increases. And the question isn't whether the world is harsh. The question is whether you're finally ready to become strong enough for it. Here's where things stop being theory and start becoming personal. Because the truth isn't just about how the world works, it's about how you live inside it. Look at your circle. Really look. Most people around you don't push you forward. They keep you comfortable. They joke when you talk about ambition. They say, "Take it easy," when you mention money. They call you obsessed when you start taking discipline seriously. Not because they hate you, but because your growth exposes their stagnation. Comfort loves company, and nothing scares people more than someone who refuses to stay average with them. Society plays a smarter game. It praises effort publicly but rewards results privately. It claps when you're trying but listens only when you're winning. That's why motivational quotes feel good but don't change lives. Society doesn't run on feelings. It runs on outcomes. And money is one of the clearest outcomes there is. It's not about greed. It's about proof. Your conscience already understands this. That's why fake enjoyment feels hollow. That's why scrolling feels numbing instead of relaxing. That's why nights feel heavier than mornings. Because deep down, you know when comfort is stolen instead of earned. When you sit down to relax without progress behind you, your mind doesn't rest. It reminds you. It brings back unfinished plans, ignored opportunities, wasted hours. That voice isn't your enemy. It's your warning system. It's telling you that something is off. That effort and reward are out of balance. And the longer you ignore it, the louder it gets. Friends will say, life isn't all about money. Society will say, everything works out. But your conscience asks a sharper question. Then why am I still stressed? Money doesn't make you heartless. It makes you independent. And independence changes everything. When you don't have money, you depend on moods, approvals, and favors. You explain yourself. You tolerate disrespect. You delay decisions. You lower standards. Not because you want to, but because you have to. And your conscience feels that humiliation. That's why money pressure hurts more than physical tiredness. Because it attacks dignity. It limits choices. It forces compromise. And the world doesn't care why you're behind. It only notices that you are. This isn't cruelty. It's how systems operate. Look at nature again. The lion doesn't hate the herd. The eagle doesn't insult the flock. They simply live by different rules. They hunt instead of waiting. They rise instead of blending in. That's the shift 2026 is demanding from you. Not arrogance, not greed, competence. The ability to produce value, to earn, to adapt, to become financially dangerous in a world that respects leverage. And here's the hardest truth. If you stay broke long enough, people start deciding your life for you. Where you go, what you accept, how you're treated. And that loss of control slowly kills self-respect. That's why you can't enjoy borrowed happiness. Your conscience knows the cost. 2026 is not asking you to abandon people. It's asking you to stop depending on them. Build skills, build income, build control, not to flex, not to dominate, but so you can finally breathe without guilt. Because the day your effort starts matching your income, something powerful happens. Your conscience quiets down. You stop explaining. You stop pretending. You stop running. And for the first time, you feel aligned. That alignment is what most people mistake for confidence. Now comes the moment most people avoid. Not because it's hard to understand, but because it demands change. By now, you know the truth. You know the world isn't soft. You know society respects results. You know money creates options. And you know your conscience doesn't let you enjoy life when effort and reward don't match. So here's the real question as 2026 begins. What are you going to do with this truth? Because awareness without action is just another form of self-betrayal. You've already spent years knowing what you should do. Everyone has. The difference between people who rise and people who stay stuck isn't intelligence or luck. It's decision speed. Winners don't wait for certainty. They move while things are unclear. They build while others debate. They accept discomfort early so they don't live with regret later. You don't need a dramatic transformation. You need consistency that hurts your comfort. Small, boring actions done daily will change your position faster than motivation ever will. Learning when you're tired. Working when it's quiet. Saying no when it's tempting. Those moments don't look powerful, but they stack. And one day, you wake up and realize life stopped pushing you around. That's when something shifts inside you. You stop explaining yourself. You stop chasing approval. You stop waiting for permission. Not because you became arrogant, but because you became capable. The world treats capable people differently. Not out of kindness, but out of necessity. When you create value, people listen. When you earn money, options appear. When you control your time, respect follows. This isn't ego. This is leverage. And leverage is the only language the real world understands. Think about the life you actually want. Not the lifestyle, the state of mind. Calm instead of anxiety. Choice instead of pressure. Silence instead of noise. That life isn't built by wishing the world was fair. It's built by becoming strong enough that fairness stops mattering. 2026 can be the year you finally stop repeating cycles. The year you stop consuming motivation and start producing results. The year you stop surviving and start positioning yourself. You weren't born to beg for space in this world. You were born to earn your place. And when success finally comes, and it will, if you don't quit, you'll enjoy it differently, quietly, cleanly, without guilt, because your conscience will agree, because you'll know what it cost, because you didn't escape the grind, you faced it. Most people will watch this video, feel something, and move on. A few will feel uncomfortable, and act. Be one of the few. If this video spoke to you, don't just sit with it. Subscribe. This channel is for people who want control, not comfort. Comment 2026 if this is the year you stop surviving and start winning. Because the world won't wait, and neither should you.